I absolutely love the idea of the adjustable trigger, how they've done that on the Model 90. .6 of an inch for 5 shots at 100. At 200 I've got a gong, it's the size of my hand. Hit. Hit. Hey guys, and welcome to Ozzie Reviews. Today I'm checking out the Sako Model 90 Varmint Laminated Stainless rifle in 22-250. Before I jump into the review guys, please will you check your subscription to me. Pause this video and check it and make sure that the bell icon is enabled. YouTube have been taking you guys from me without your permission. Some of you have had to resubscribe now 8 and 9 times. So please check it. I'm getting roughly 1,000 a month of subscribers being taken by YouTube. So they're really trying to stop me from growing, guys. Please help me grow, which means obviously make sure you subscribe to me, that bell icon is enabled, and also like and share my videos. I really appreciate that. Okay, so jumping into the review, this rifle here is in 22-250. You can get them in optional calibers in this Varmint model, being 222, 223, 243, 6.5 Creedmoor, 7mm08 and 308. So I'll show you what comes with the rifle. We've got the manual naturally, so you want to read that on how to obviously take the rifle down, and if you're going to do any adjustments, you know, the information you need is in there. We've got the main takedown tool, which is the same tool that you need to adjust the trigger pull weight should you wish to. We've also got the bolt takedown tool, and I got a sticker here from Sako. So let's go ahead and clear it and let's give you a run by of it. These rifles are just absolutely beautiful. I love the quality of them. I used to own the Model 85 Varmint in 223. I had the one with the set trigger, and it was an absolutely beautiful rifle, but you know, I did end up selling it. I buy and sell rifles a fair bit, or firearms in general I should say. But yeah, I did have that rifle for quite some time, and yeah, it was just a beautiful rifle. So I'm expecting a lot out of this one, even though it's in 22-250. So speaking of guys, for those of you who have been following me a long time, this is the first rifle review that I've done in the caliber of 22-250. You guys have been asking for quite some time, and look, I finally specifically got a rifle chambered in that caliber to satisfy you guys out there. Also too, check out my beginner basics video where I talk about the caliber of 22-250 and my thoughts on it with pros and cons. Okay, so let's talk about what are the differences between the Sako 85 and the new Sako Model 90. Okay, they talk about a smoother cycling of the bolt, and that's due to a reduced contact between the bolt and the receiver. So for me, do I really notice a difference? No, I can't say I notice any difference between my previous Model 85. They're both very smooth actions. They also talk about reduced lock time. So that's the time between the trigger releasing the sear and the firing pin striking the primer. Okay, so that's down to like 1.3 milliseconds. Once again, in real world conditions, are you going to notice that? Look, I probably doubt it, but they have engineered this model to do that. We've got a few upgrades in general here. We've got the receiver has been redesigned, the ejection port I should say. So if you have a look at that, I'll try to bring it up and get an angle on it. Yeah, you can see the front, the way it's angled is very different to the Model 85. We've also got a very easy adjustment of the trigger. And also the trigger blade can be adjusted back and forth, but we'll talk about more of that in just a moment. The bolt, it's still got the 3 locking lugs at the front, but we've got dual plungers in the Model 90. So if you're used to the Sako TRG, if you've had any experience with them, this is pretty much the same in the sense of the dual plungers. Now the barrel on this one is 60 centimeters or 23.7 inches. Okay, it's free floating, cold hammer forged steel. We've got the flutes in it. Very, very nice. It's got a 1 in 14 inch twist for 22-250. You do have a couple of barrel options available. You've got a shorter barrel as well. But, you know, for me, I mean, this is the perfect ideal length. If suppressors are legal in your area, we have the barrel threaded for M18 thread. Coming back to the receiver, we've got Picatinny machined into the receiver, which is really nice. We've got on top a Steiner Predator 8 2-16 by 42 optic, because obviously I wasn't going to put a 1-6 power on top of a Varmint rifle, so that's well suited in magnification to the caliber and the rifle in my view. We've got Steiner rings. The action in general, you know, as I say, it is very smooth, but the safety works pretty straightforward. Back there for safe, and it's going to lock the action, okay, and obviously you can't pull or fire the trigger, but we've got a release just at the front here, okay, so you just push that down and then you can lift the bolt up. So in other words, if you had a magazine inserted, loaded mag, well, you could load the rifle from there, but it's still on safe provided you've got that safety engaged, okay, so that's a neat little feature. Then just forward and then you can fire from there. Beautiful crisp trigger. This one here isn't the set trigger. So what I mean by a set trigger is if you have the set trigger, you can push the trigger blade forward and it clicks, and then you basically only have to touch it and it will go off, okay? So what I mean by just touch it is like I'm talking 8-9 ounces and it will go off, and that's what I had on my previous Model 85. So that is an additional extra that you can get on the Model 90 as well. So let's talk more about the trigger. What I love about this Model 90 is the adjustments on the trigger. So the first one, you can see just a hole there on the trigger blade. So you can adjust there and move the trigger blade back and forward. So you can adjust it to your preference. But the coolest thing that I absolutely love about the Model 90 is the adjustment for the trigger pull weight. Okay, so that's just in front, just here of the trigger blade. Okay, so what you need to do is just with the takedown tool, just put it straight in through the top and click it into place. Sorry, I'm trying to do it by feel here, guys. There we go. So naturally, if you turn clockwise, it's going to increase the trigger pull. Anti-clockwise will decrease the trigger pull. So I've got it basically on the lightest setting there. Now there's 5 preset weights, and they just click really firmly when you're turning. So there's no mistake. But as I said, I've got it on the lightest weight there, and it is breaking crisp at 1.5 pound. Now, if you have a look at various different write-ups about this rifle, I know that they say a few different adjustment weights, but basically between 2 and 4 pounds. But I've got this one breaking there beautifully at 1.5, so I'm certainly not complaining. Now, the magazine on it, just like my Model 85, if you push the release, the magazine won't come out. You have to push in on the magazine ever so slightly, and then you can push the release from there and then get the magazine out. Okay, so I actually like it because think about it. If you're shooting over the back of a ute or, you know, across a fence or something like that, and you're leaning the rifle down and you just, you know, by mistake press or catch something on that magazine release, well, you're not going to drop your magazine in the field, you know, which I find a really good thing. So yeah, so basically here, guys, we've got 5-round magazine. It's able to be loaded through the top. So once it's inserted, you can load through the top, which is a big advantage to a lot of people. And yeah, just a double stack 5-round magazine. I've never had any problems, you know, with these mags. So the stock itself, yeah, just absolutely beautiful. We've got the sling attachment there at the front and also a swivel at the rear, and we've just got a rubber kick pad, not that you need it for 22-250 naturally, and we've just got the beautiful cheek piece there. You can get these rifles in both left and right-handed, so you know, just yeah, ask at your local dealer and they'll be able to guide you accordingly from there. So price wise guys, not cheap, $3,400, you know, but Sako is made in Finland and you have absolute quality from head to toe. So I'm really keen to get this rifle zeroed. So let's get out on the farm now and get into it. Okay guys, let me run you through the ammo I'll use through the Sako today. We're going to start off with Sako's own ammunition, which is the 50 grain game head soft points. Then we'll have the 55 grain soft point boat tail from Sellier Bellot. And then we've got the 55 grain pointed soft points from Remington. So you probably can't see it because it's not zoomed in enough with the camera, but you know, these packs of ammunition are basically, you know, anywhere between $54 and $59 for 20 at the time of doing this review. So it's not cheap. So I expect a lot from the rifle. So I've got a target out there at 100 and I'm going to fire 5-shot groups just to really test the accuracy of the rifle. So let's get into it. Okay guys, so looking at the results, yeah, I'm not overly happy. We seem to consistently have a flyer in each group. So whether the rifle's just settling in or not, but the Sako ammunition, we've come in at about 0.7 of an inch for 4 shots, but the 5 shots we're going to be at about 1.1 inches. Then the Sellier Bellot, now we've got 4 shots beautifully into about 0.4 of an inch. But the 5 shots there, it's going to push us out to about 0.9 of an inch. So I am happy with that, except I'm not happy with the flyer. Now the Remington ammo, same sort of thing. We had reasonable consistency there, but then we've had the 1 flyer, so the 4 shots, about 0.7 of an inch. But with the 5 shots, we're going to be about 0.9 of an inch. So I'm just going to zero the rifle now and we'll just see how we go. I want to shoot 2 more groups here and see if it just is the rifle settling in, because to me, having those flyers like that is just not acceptable when you're talking about the amount of money that you pay for this rifle in general. So with the Sako ammunition, we've had another flyer which is going to push it out to 2.1 inches. But the clear winner of the day is the Sellier Bellot, which surprises me at 0.6 of an inch for 5 shots at 100. So loading the 5-round magazine is just effortless, honestly. It's pushed down through the top and the rounds just gently snap into place. I've had absolutely zero problems with the magazine, but honestly, would you expect anything less from a high quality rifle like this? Okay guys, so we've got a fair bit of wind here right now. It's really picking up as the day progresses. So I put a Harris bipod on the front of the rifle. There's no rear rest, just out in real conditions here with the wind and everything, as you would be, you know, if you're out shooting. At 200, I've got a gong. It's the size of my hand. So if I can hit that consecutively, I'm going to be fairly happy with that accuracy. Now we're just using the Sellier Bellot because obviously that's what shot the best out of the selection of ammo I had available today. So we'll just see how we go. Hit. 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 Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Okay guys, I'm going to wrap up my final thoughts on the Sako Model 90 Varmint. Now this rifle is absolutely beautiful. I pretty much have compared it to the previous Sako 85 that I owned in 223, and it's very, very similar, only with those few different redesigns and upgrades. I absolutely love the idea of the adjustable trigger, how they've done that on the Model 90. In all honesty, I think every rifle manufacturer with adjustable triggers should make it as easy as this. Just some preset ones where you can just simply put in a tool without having to take the barreled action out of the stock and just be able to adjust it so easily to your preference. I mean, I couldn't be happier with that. Beautiful trigger, nice and crisp. You know, I can't say much more about that. The magazine on it, as I said, you know, you've got that bit of a safety feature in where you've just got to push it in and then the release to get it out, so it's not going to drop out on you in the field. I love the fact that once it is inserted, you can just simply load through the top there. So, you know, there's a lot of the older shooters out there who, you know, love rifles like the old Parker Hale and stuff like that, where you could load through the top when you're out in the field. You know, this rifle is exactly the same. So if you need to quickly just throw one more round in for a fast follow-up shot, then you can do that as well. I like the smoothness of the action. I mean, honestly, you'd have to be a fool to say you didn't. I mean, how could you not? It's just like any other Sako or even Tikka rifle. I just find them ultra smooth, just beautiful actions in general. As for the accuracy, I would have liked to have had a little bit more selection of ammo, but like I said, guys, it's pretty expensive, and you know, ammo at the moment, depending on where you go, is really hit and miss with what is actually available. So for the selection I had, I was pretty happy with that Sellier Bellot. Normally I find that a very budget ammo, and results are but you know, in this it certainly performed. You know, 0.6 of an inch for 5 shots at 100 with wind, and then just consecutive hits on the gong out there at 200. You know, honestly, what more do you want? You start reloading and fine-tuning your loads, well, it's going to obviously come down with even more accuracy from there. So guys, look, I honestly can't complain about the rifle, other than maybe the price. You know, we all wish they were only $1,000, don't we? But you know, you get what you pay for. It's just an absolute Mercedes-Benz of rifles, this. All right, we'll leave it at that, guys. Hope you enjoyed watching it. So till next time, we'll catch you then.